You are listening to the Fuerte Network.
It's Frankie here, the Diva Dad, and welcome back. I'm here with my good friend Chris Campbell, and we're here today to bring you the Diva Dad Show. So welcome back. So tonight's show, like I said last time, I'm going to be breaking up the show through different segments. And so tonight's segment will be focused on small business and local business. And so my friend Chris here is not only my friend, but he's also a local realtor. And so he'll be talking about what he does and works on and specializes in kind of like the area and stuff. So anyone looking for a home or even a temporary, like a rental or something, he has different services and different things, but mainly for home buying, options, selling, all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in the market in Phoenix for that kind of stuff, because it's crazy right now and you hear all these things like, how expensive it is to live here. And it is, but if you're ever wondering how you can go about becoming a home buyer, Chris would be somebody to reach out to and say, hey, how would I become a home buyer if I'm interested in that? And so, so that's what we'll be talking about. But other things we'll be talking about, some baked goods I brought on with me today. I have some chocolate chip cookies and some oatmeal raisin cookie bites. They're part of like the little boxes that I'll be selling and offering throughout the holidays. Starting with the first Friday of November, I'll be doing a pop-up in downtown Phoenix, actually in front of my buddy's real estate office on Roosevelt. So it's in between Roosevelt. It's on Roosevelt, in between 5th and 7th Street.
Right.
And you can easily find it. There's yellow awnings on the front of the building. It's a real estate office. It says Brokers Hub Realty. There's big windows and there's yellow awnings. It's the only one with it. So, and you'll see me out there popped up. So that'll be in November and December, the first Fridays. Downtown started doing their first Friday events again. And last month was one of their official ones of the season opening up. And it was crazy. It was a fucking shit show down there. It was me and 4 kids going through First Friday and watching all the people. And there was a lot of like music, a lot of street vendors, a ton of street vendors, more than I've ever seen down First Friday before. A lot of Christian Jesus people preaching the word, and a lot of just, all the weirdos and freaks being out. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun navigating through. So, and speaking of downtown and living and stuff, Chris here, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you do and where you're at and all that stuff?
Well, I moved downtown to Roosevelt Row in 2005 in the office that Frankie's going to do his pop-up in. And so I saw the boom and then the bust. Right. And now we're in another boom. And so, I've been down here for a long time and I really enjoy it. And Frankie's right, with the first Fridays are crazy. Mm-hmm. And right in front of our office now, they have booths. So the booths have expanded from one end of the neighborhood to the other. So it's a good time. But I not only do sales in the downtown area, but all throughout Central Phoenix. And to be honest, at the end of the day, I end up selling houses all over the valley, wherever my clients want to go. But my target market is downtown and Central Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You're living there, right?
Well, yeah. And there's a lot of condos in downtown and up Central Avenue. And that's where things get tricky when you're buying a house. Mm-hmm. It's one thing just to buy a single family home, but when you buy into some of these HOAs, you're buying into some debt that they already have, and maybe they're managed well, maybe they're not. But those are the kind of things that someone like myself can help you out with.
Yeah, definitely. And what's the difference? Like, are all the places downtown for sale or for rent?
Well, the new stuff that you see, these new high rises, there's like 3 or 4 new high rises within a rock's throw of Roosevelt Row. There's 2 more that just broke ground. They're not even 2 stories high yet. All of this stuff being built right now and in the last few years, that's all rentals.
Oh, they're all rentals?
They're all rentals. The dirt, when you buy the land, it's very expensive, and they can't sell the condos for a high enough price to make the right profit.
Oh,
Like the least expensive condo would end up being like $2.5 million, which
fuck.
no one's going to pay.
No, but I mean, I've seen houses for that much easy.
Well, yes, but not in downtown Phoenix on the
Mhm.
15th floor.
Right.
You know, so the point is they can buy the land and they can build the building and they can rent them out, and they can make their profit within their period of time, whatever their business plan is.
Right.
And then maybe I'm hoping when they've made some profit there, then they'll turn around and convert them to condos and I'll sell them.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's done.
Mhm.
In the boom of 05 to 7, there were numerous condo or apartment complexes around the valley that converted to condos.
Right, because I believe the Monroe was like that, right? In the beginning.
The Monroe was 9 stories high, and they ended up making it, I forget how many stories it is now, 28 maybe, but whatever. Yeah, it was originally going to be, it was a 9-story office building. They were going to convert it to a 9-story condos.
Mhm.
And then the boom was so crazy, they blew it up into the sky, and then before they could sell them all, they went bankrupt.
Right.
And now they're apartments.
And now they're all apartments. Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
yeah.
It's been crazy watching the development of downtown Phoenix. I remember I moved here in 2005. Yeah, maybe end of 4 or 5, something like that. I moved, so I saw it right when you were moving downtown. And I remember you didn't come downtown. The only reason you did was like for a show or if you had court or something like that. Like you didn't come downtown.
Yeah, in 05 it had started to get a little bit better, but I remember years ago, we came down a few times slumming it at the 307. If anyone's been around Phoenix long enough to remember the 307, there is a plaque for the 307 on the sidewalk where the building used to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, you know, if you're into that.
If you're into history.
But yeah, so it was a bad, downtown Phoenix died in the 60s.
Mm.
And I'm happy to say it's back. And it's
Yeah.
been back for a number of years now, you know.
Yeah, but it's really back now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we all went through that shit of 2020 and stuff, so that didn't help with a lot of things. 2019 was a struggle, but yeah, this year has been ridiculous. And like I said, this last First Friday was one of the biggest I've ever seen down there. And I used to go all the time.
They never had the booths in front of my office.
They never came that far down.
No, it never has, but it did now.
Mhm.
I'm glad.
Because I always remembered it would end at like 3rd Street, 4th Street, sometimes to 5th.
Yeah, yeah. 5th Street itself would be okay, but Roosevelt was pretty dead.
Especially down to 7th, like where you are. And now it goes all the way down there.
And a special note, if you're all coming down, parking is a bitch.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
So,
Uber there if you can.
Uber, light rail, have a friend drop you off.
Uh-huh.
You know, honestly.
Funny story here. I actually moved to downtown Phoenix, but in 2019. And my wife and I went because we loved First Friday. We used to live in the West Side. So we would come down here, find parking, everything. When we got the opportunity to move down here, we're going to be able to go all the First Fridays, all the cafes and bars and everything. And that happened for about 3 months, 4 months. And then all of a sudden the world stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now you got everything open again.
Oh, yeah. Now we're just down the street. So, yeah, like parking is definitely horrible down on First Friday. But we just walk it and it's just right there.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've gotten lucky. Like, if we're going to hang out in First Fridays, I'll come down and pick up the kids after school at 5, and we'll park at that early and go over to his place or just hang out and stuff and be there for the night. But we don't leave once we find parking.
Yeah.
And actually, sometimes I actually park just right here in the studio since the studio's
there you go.
Right here. So
I come here to park too.
There you
kids are like, it's okay. We have a show.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And I noticed that with all the new vendors and everything too, like it's a whole different vibe downtown too. It's not as like sketchy as it used to be, which is nice. Like the vendors are different, the artists are different, the music's different. And there's so many more like actual cafes and restaurants now and microbreweries and all these little mom and pop places. There's all these little like candle stores and yoga places and stuff down there now. So there's so much to go do. Like I felt cool walking around with the kids, and I didn't feel like it was going to be anything too crazy or obscene or anything like that. Like, you know,
it doesn't feel unsafe or anything like that. It's great.
No.
Yeah.
And even off all the side streets and everything, it was really busy everywhere still. So it wasn't, I never felt unsafe even with the kids running around and stuff. So that was a nice relief, but it was cool just being down there in that atmosphere. So yeah, I was like, hey, it was something that we had done. What, in 2019 we popped up there?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yep. In 2019 we did a pop up on First Friday at Chris's. When we were starting off biophilia, we did a test run with just some crystals. Really, all we were selling were crystals and some loose leaf tea, and it was ridiculous.
You sold quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We sold a shit ton of stuff. It was crazy. In a short amount of time, too. Like, we couldn't even keep up. It was so busy. And so when the opportunity came back, I was like, hey, now that I'm doing the Diva Dad and selling the baked goods, I figured for the holidays, it'd be a good time to come out and show some holiday specials and have them already bundled and packaged for yourself or for a gift. And so that's what I'll be offering on that First Friday. And everything will be vegan. I'll have some gluten-free options, but everything will be vegan. And of course, everything's organic and delicious and stuff. So you won't have to worry about that. But I'm definitely got some seasonal things I'll be coming out with there. And, you know, I took that little break from baking because I kind of needed it. It was nice to have that break from that everyday kind of grind of just fucking doing it. And it was hard on my hands, too. I needed a break. It's a lot of physical work to bake. People don't realize how much it is. And I do a lot of it. Well, I do it all by hand. I have a mixer and stuff. But when you make everything from scratch and do little bite-sized things and little fucking cute things and decorate little mini cupcakes, it's a lot of work and squeezing it anyway. So, but the break is over and now the holidays are here and America has been knocking on the door again and people have been reaching out through the website and through social media, which has been great because I appreciate everyone out there and all the support that you guys still show me and all the love that you're still sending out there, even in this break that I've had and this time that I haven't been out there doing as much as I used to. So I appreciate all of you. And yeah, I'll be back with some pop-ups, doing the ones at First Friday. And then through the website, you can always book. If you have a catering order or a special event or like an office party you want done for the holidays or something, I can deliver and set up and do all that for you too. So you just reach out through the website. So now, if somebody wants to buy a house, because you're here, we're talking about this. If somebody wants to buy a house, like seriously, they're like, I want to buy a house. What's the first thing that they should do?
Talk to a lender.
Thank you.
See how much you can afford. But not only that, a lender's going to look at your credit report and they're going to find that, oh, you forgot to pay this dental bill 3 years ago. And of course, you didn't know it. And there's a mark on your credit. So they'll help you get it cleaned up if there's any of those hidden things. And I say the dental thing because that kind of thing actually happened to me with a medical bill. Years ago, my doctor lost me, my address, and started sending my bills to some address I've never lived at, but some other Chris Campbell did.
Wow.
And it was on my credit, and it was on there for years, and I never even knew it. So at any rate, go to a lender. What you can do before you go to a lender is go online and go to one of those mortgage calculators.
Okay.
If you've got really good credit, say you're going to pay estimated interest of 3.5%. And if it's extremely good, it'll be less, but budget high, hope for low kind of thing.
Right.
And then put in 300,000 at 3.5%. How much is my payment? Can I afford that? And so on. And if you can, then raise it if you want, whatever, and then talk to a lender and get all those details.
Okay.
But that's the best place to start.
Nice. And then once I've talked to a lender, what do I do?
Then you call me.
And then comes the fun part, huh?
Well, you know, there's a little bit of an art to it. You know, I want to know a little bit about you. And that means I had to know that one client really doesn't want to poo in front of his wife.
Okay.
He wants a closed door toilet.
Yeah.
It's a little personal, but I won't show you any houses that don't have a locked room, but do you want a pool? What area of town? Why do you want to live in that area of town? Is that where your family is? Is that where your work is? Sometimes that makes a difference. And sometimes people may not want to live near family.
Right.
So, we get some of those details out of, and of course we talk about the price and 2 or 3 bedrooms and all those kind of things. And then I'm a native and I've been here a long time and I've been doing real estate almost 20 years. I have driven through every neighborhood of Central Phoenix, I would guess by now, And so when you start talking about what kind of neighborhood you like and you want walking distance to some restaurants, well, maybe downtown's not for you, but maybe 16th Street in Bethany is.
Oh, okay.
And so even though I have clients that have lived here a number of years, they don't always know all the little ins and outs of every neighborhood. And I've had clients just absolutely love, I won't name a bad neighborhood, but they love this neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah, let's go somewhere else. So, and I explain why, things like that. But trying to help someone find that right house it's more fun than listing houses.
Yeah.
I enjoy buyers a lot.
I bet.
You kind of get to know them, and you kind of become their best friend for 30 to 60 days. And then you check in on them afterwards. But yeah, you kind of really become good friends.
Very cool. Are there any areas or any projects that you know of coming up that you're really excited about downtown?
I've been excited about the Garfield Historic District for the 20 years I've been in the business.
Yeah.
It's the last historic neighborhood right next door to downtown, walking distance. The neighborhood has taken a long time to turn over because there are so many rental properties in there. Lots of duplexes and threeplexes. Okay. And the landlords are making money, so they're not selling and they're not remodeling or re-landscaping, and the renters aren't going to do it. So slowly they have been selling. And the neighborhood is actually really looking a lot better than it did 15 years ago.
So what are the borders of the Garfield area? Because I've heard of it, and I know like when I'm in the hood and I see the signs like, oh yeah, I'm in Garfield, obviously. But what are the actual perimeters of Garfield?
Van Buren on the south.
Okay.
I-10 on the north. 7th Street, which is right across the street from Roosevelt Row, all the way to 16th Street.
Okay.
So it's a big area. And the closer you get to 16th Street, those houses are a little behind. They seem to be remodeling from 7th Street heading east because everyone wants to live closer to downtown. So, it kind of makes sense. Yeah. But there's some great homes in that area with good bones. A lot of them need remodeling.
Yeah. But that's all right. A little love, and
I have a question on that because especially for us Latino, we love to just knock down walls and put up new rooms, do things like that to houses. What is allowed and is not allowed to do in one of these historic houses?
Great question. Generally speaking, just a general rule, it's the exterior they care about. So if you can see it from the street, then they don't want you to change it. So the windows, the roof line. Landscaping can be changed. Fences can be put up and down. I would recommend before you do anything that is visible, talk to the historic, because they do have the power to make you reverse it at your expense.
Okay. So just because you live in the area, you have to abide by their rules?
Well, because it's a historic district, so it falls under some other zoning laws. And so they don't want you like ripping out your front window and putting in French doors to a huge balcony, which might be very nice in many homes, but this wasn't the original home. It wasn't the style at the time of the era that the homes were built. They were trying to keep the character of the years that they were built and prospered.
I get you.
So if it's interior walls, knock your socks out. If it's anything on the exterior, be careful.
Do you think they'd make any kind of exception in terms of like replacing windows for like energy efficiency type of thing?
But what I would still talk to them to make sure. But I believe if there are some windows, those historic windows a lot of times have those like those bars in them, not bars, but those decorative squares. You can get double pane windows, and I did in my 1950s ranch. And I had those same lines. I wanted it to look like the neighborhood, but my lines were in between the pane of glass.
Oh, okay.
So I could just wash the windows instead of each little pane.
Nice.
Oh, that's really
cool, what I mean? Though. So
you got the look of it.
Yeah. So I think it matched the neighborhood close enough. I wasn't in a historic district, so it wasn't that strict. But if you're in a historic district, I would talk to the historic preservation community. I can get the contact information for you.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm sure they must have some examples of these are all acceptable.
Nice.
You know, so it should be pretty simple. And then you won't have to go out and try and look for a historic looking windows.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And then you got to get permits and stuff like that when you're dealing with exterior things too.
Right.
Yeah. And then you got to go to the city.
And neighbors will turn you in because they want to preserve the neighborhood. They're not trying to, I'd like to say they're not trying to be jerks. Some of them probably are, but you know, they want to preserve the historic neighborhood.
There's a certain look and vibe of the neighborhood that everyone's going for. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. But yeah, I always wondered about that kind of stuff too, because it was like you want to make it updated. You want to keep it looking that way, but you want to make it updated, energy efficient, you know, cost efficient, all that stuff, like as green as you can, but maintain the look of the original structure and grounds pretty much. Yeah. That's cool.
And you know, the Roosevelt Historic District, which is approximately 13th Avenue, probably 7th Avenue, actually, over to maybe 13th. I forget. It's in that Roosevelt area in the west of Central. It wasn't that many years ago that was as run down as Garfield was a few years back.
Oh, wow.
And Roosevelt's a gorgeous neighborhood. People want to live there now.
Oh, yeah.
So they do turn around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that neighborhood. It's been on the brink of turnaround for a long time. I would love to live there when I'm in the house in the market next year. That's where I want to live.
I think it's a good idea.
For my first home. It'd be a cute little house there.
Uh-huh.
And I like the area because it is really close to downtown. It's just like that southeast part that nobody really thinks of because it's just...
Well, if you know the history of Phoenix, when it was building back in the early 20th century, Garfield was the working class.
Yeah.
Those were the lower income. Many of them were renters. That's why there's so many duplexes and so on. Coronado was more the middle class. Willow was more the upper middle class, and Encanto were the rich people. So the smaller homes are all in Garfield because they were lower income. Okay. So those are small. Even the duplexes are 1 bedrooms each normally. So they're pretty small homes over there. Coronado gets just a little bit bigger, 2 and 3 bedrooms, but most of them 1 bath because in those days. But then you go to Willow and now you've got almost ranch style homes.
Okay.
All built in the similar era.
Interesting. Socioeconomics at its finest, right?
Exactly.
It's like we're providing you the best for your people.
And keeping them in their class.
Right, exactly. This is the best for you.
Yes.
And then you guys get the best here. That's so crazy the way that all works out. But it makes sense too with the redevelopment of everything too. And the fact that that's one of the last areas to be revitalized and stuff. Because like you said, why are you going to improve in an area where people are okay with paying that and living there with that? It's sad, but that's just kind of the reality of things. Until you can get those rentals and those people to sell and it to be turned over to new people who are interested in revitalizing it like that. I've been in neighborhoods like that before in Tucson. And I've seen that. I saw my neighborhood go, when I moved into my neighborhood in South Tucson, it was middle class. And now it is like hood as fuck. It's horrible. Yeah. You see it going from everybody had manicured lawns and now there's dirt everywhere. Like it's not even rock.
Neighborhoods do go through cycles, and it could still come back. I don't know anything about your neighborhood, but it could come back someday.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, we may not live to see it. Seriously,
right? I don't think so. Yeah, that's why I'm okay with that.
Let it die. It's all right.
We've moved onward from that. Everyone I know is out of that hood anyway. So yeah, it's crazy, but that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all that, because I've always wondered like about Garfield, because like I said, when I'm in there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. But then I'm like, where the hell is the whole area of Garfield district and stuff? So
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And of course, if you have any further questions, if you want to reach out to Chris himself, you can find him. He's with Brokers Hub Realty, and we'll have his information and stuff posted. And you can always reach out to me too through Instagram if you want to connect and stuff, and I'll share his information with you all. And we'll have Chris back on the show periodically to touch base and share with some of the new developments as they open, and just as the market is changing and the trends going on out there and stuff with real estate. And again, in his business and what he's offering out there to the community, because through him and his referral and network and stuff, it's not just Chris that you get to work with and meet. You know, he's got lenders that he works with and this and that and stuff. So it's all just a team that you would be exposed to. And be able to have access to and stuff. So if you have nowhere to start and nowhere to begin, just reach out and I'll put you in contact with Chris and he'll get you going and on the right track and stuff. So it's very cool. What else do we have going on? Speaking of things downtown, like I said, the First Friday events are coming up. So the first Friday in November
is going to be
the 4th, 3rd?
5th.
Yeah, 5th, something like that.
Yeah.
I should probably look at a calendar. But anyways, the first Friday in November and the first Friday in December, I'll be downtown and I'll keep posting about it on Instagram. And what I'll be sharing out there and stuff. I have a little sneak peek of the holiday boxes I'll be putting together. Also, an event that I am hosting will be on the 29th of October. The last Friday of the month will be my next medicated class. So it'll be a 420 slow flow. Kind of similar to the last one we did. We'll do a yin restorative practice this time. So a little more mellow and chill than the other two practices. Because first one we did was like a hybrid yin, and then we did yin last time. And this time we're going to do a restorative yin practice, which basically I just prop you up with a bunch of pillows and blankets and you lay there and then rest for about 10 minutes. And then I reposition you, kind of like turn, and then flip, and then we're done. And I'll sound bathe and do all that.
Sounds like frying an egg.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like rotisserie the chicken. It's pretty cool. It's like making sure each side is, basted and marinated and gets its turn. Yeah, it's a really cool, relaxing, chill experience. It's way more mellow than the other ones that we've done, which if you've been to the other two, they've been pretty chill anyway. So, and then, with the sound bath included with it, it will definitely reset your energy for the whole weekend. And I'll be baking up some snacks. I'm also going to be providing some medicated appetizers just besides the baked goods, because I realized last time I got hungry and everyone else did too, and there was just cookies and I was like, I'm gonna get diabetes, so I needed something different. So I'm adding the cannabis oil to like hummus and stuff. So I'll be making my own dips. So we'll have like a chips and salsa and like charcuterie board kind of thing, and I'll medicate it all. So it'll be dosed up with CBD and THC. And I provide all of that for you. It's all included with your ticket, and all you have to bring is yourself, your positive attitude, your open mind, and your weed if you want to smoke it. Smoke what you want. It's a BYOW. I do provide some flower, whatever I bring. Last time I threw down some pre-rolls that I got, which I picked those up at Curaleaf last time, and they ended up being really tasty. I got something on deal, on some kind of crazy special deal, so... depending on where I pick up some flower, I'll have some, but you can always bring whatever you like to smoke. If you like to vape, if you like to dab, you can bring your little rig set up. Somebody brought a bong the first time, and that was really cool because then we were able to share that and pass it around and stuff. So yeah, it's literally a medicated practice. So however you like to get down and medicate, by all means, please bring your setup and your tools and your flour and stuff. Like I said, I'll provide some medicated snacks, non-medicated options, and some flour for everyone to partake in. But if you want to bring anything else, by all means, if anyone wants to bring a big fat blunt to pass around, that's always a good time. I always mean to do that, and then I always run out of time, and I bring just what I can. So that's why I pick up the pre-rolls, because they're always convenient and they're nice to pass around. But that'll be coming up on the 29th of October. So stay tuned. The link will be up on the Instagram account here this week. And yeah, it's $25 and it's all included. So that'll be fun. And the First Friday events will be fun. And besides that, I think that's what I got going on for events coming up. Stay tuned for anything else that pops up. I think there might be an event popping up at the Japanese Friendship Garden again with Jude and Biophilia in the next couple of months, so we'll stay tuned for that. The last one was a lot of fun and we had a great time out there. So a little smaller group than the first time. The first time we jammed out with 50 people. This time it was only 30, so a little smaller group, but it was nice. So we'll see if we're do it that way again. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything you want to talk about, reach out through Instagram, through the website. You can holler at me on Instagram and on Facebook. If you have any questions for Chris here and you want to reach out to him or get connected, just reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with him. We'll have his information broadcasting through the show too. So thank you again for being here. Thanks, Chris, for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys. Yeah, you're welcome. And we'll see them again in the future. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for being here and for sharing your time and your evening with me. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.